specifically that big Encino house, the $6.5 million one, and what this split could mean financially.
Right.
Brittany Cartwright, she was playing a game, right?
Yeah, with Us Weekly, it was called Reality Swipe, and she made some pretty interesting choices.
Right.
We have about Sutton Stracke. She faced some less than kind comments online.
Ugh, yeah. Ooh, some potential merch drama. Kristen Doute and Jax Taylor. Some RHONJ tension.
Yes, this involves Margaret Josephs, Melissa Gorga, and Kathy Wakile.
Ciara Miller and Jesse Solomon.
Ciara was on Watch What Happens Live and talked about Jesse, said they have a good time, love to party together, it's all pretty chill.
Jesse Lally again, but this time it's financial stuff. Whitney Rose and her beauty business.
Right. There was a report in the U.S. Sun claiming she'd shut down Wild Rose Beauty after losing a lot of money, like 6 figures.
Okay, so the big news is out. Dorit Kemsles has filed for divorce from PK.
Yeah, and that filing came right after those pictures surfaced of PK with Saniei.
Exactly. So in this video, we'll be talking about, well, the money side of things, specifically that big Encino house, the $6.5 million one, and what this split could mean financially.
Right. And one of the first things that popped up was about the house itself, the ownership.
What about it?
Well, word is the property was actually conveyed to an LLC managed by Dorit.
Like a company.
Exactly, a limited liability company. It's a way to hold assets. And the key part is she manages it.
Okay, so she manages the LLC that owns the house. That sounds like she's the legal owner.
It strongly suggests it, yeah.
What happened now they're divorcing? Can she just, sell it?
Not so fast. Generally, once the divorce papers are filed, the assets are sort of frozen.
Frozen up.
Yeah, you usually can't sell major assets or transfer things around without the court saying okay until everything's divided up.
Got it. Now let's talk income, specifically her Real Housewives money. That's considered community property, right? What does that actually mean here?
That's really crucial in California. Community property basically means anything earned or acquired during the marriage belongs equally to both spouses.
Even if only one person earned it?
Generally, yes. So her salary from the show, which is reportedly around $100,000 a season, plus, all those partnerships making her potentially worth millions, that income earned while they were married is likely part of the shared pot that gets divided.
Wow, that's huge. Especially when you compare it to PK's situation. His finances seem a bit murkier.
Didn't he have a bankruptcy?
He did, yes. Which makes his current net worth less certain. That difference is really important when we talk about spousal support.
Right, because Dorit asked for spousal support and sole custody too.
She did. But here's the twist. PK could potentially ask for spousal support from her.
Absolutely. California law allows for it. The court looks at the length of the marriage, each person's ability to earn the lifestyle they had.
Okay.
Given her RHOBH income and other ventures, it's definitely possible she could be ordered to pay him support.
And potentially even his legal fees.
That too. If he can show he doesn't have the cash to pay his lawyer for the divorce, the court might order her to help cover those costs.
Okay, this is getting complicated. Okay, back to the house for a second. Given all this and their financial history, could they end up having to sell it?
That's definitely a possibility. You might remember the house actually went into pre-foreclosure last year.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. They caught up on payments, though.
They did manage to resolve it then, but it highlights potential financial pressures. Dorit even said at the reunion she had no idea about the foreclosure threat, that PK handled those things.
So selling the house could be a way to, free up cash for whatever settlement they reach.
It often happens in divorces, especially with high-value assets and potential support obligations or debts to settle. It provides liquidity.
And quickly, what about child support for Jagger and Phoenix?
Given that the kids seem to primarily live with Dorit, and PK travels a lot for work, it's very likely she would be awarded child support from him. That's usually based on custody arrangements and income.
Okay, so summing this up, Dorit likely legally owns the house via the LLC, but her Bravo income is community property, potentially split.
Right. And TK could actually get spousal support from her, maybe even access to that Bravo money that way.
And the timing, hitting that 10-year mark, could mean long-term support is on the table. Plus, the house has that shaky financial history.
And hey, if you love keeping up with all this, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything from Realty TV.
Definitely do that.
Mauricio definitely left. I've heard some things about him.
Brittany Cartwright, she was playing a game, right?
Yeah, with Us Weekly, it was called Reality Swipe, and she made some pretty interesting choices.
Right. Like Mauricio Umansky, she swiped left and kind of cryptically said she'd heard some things about him.
Mm-hmm. Which, given everything floating around about Mauricio lately, that comment definitely lands.
It makes you wonder what exactly she's heard, doesn't it? Like, gossip travels fast in that world.
Oh, for sure. Even if it's just rumors, hearing them from someone in that circle gives them a bit more weight, maybe.
Yeah.
Fuels the speculation anyway.
Totally. Then she also swiped left on Tom Schwartz. Loves him, but wouldn't date him. Fair enough.
Yeah, that tracks. But then she swiped right on Jesse Solomon from Summer House.
Called him a cutie patootie.
Right. And Captain Jason Chambers, too, with that funny line about Lala Kent getting jealous.
So she's got her eye on a couple of guys. It gives you a little peek into her type, maybe?
I think so. It shows what she might be looking for now. Different from Schwartz, obviously. These games are, a calculated way to share a little bit.
Okay, who else? Wes Wilson, left swipe. Not her type.
Simple enough.
Carl Radke also left. And she made a point of saying Team Lindsay.
Ooh, taking sides. Fans probably noticed that. It shows she's following the Summer House drama.
Definitely. Craig Conover, another left. Nice guy. Not her cup of tea. And Shep Rose, just a party friend.
So she's pretty clear on her boundaries there. Decisive.
Yeah. But here's where it got a bit more personal. She talked about those comments she made on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, right. About Jax and his performance in the bedroom, rating him a 2 or 3.
Yeah, that one. She went on Instagram later and basically said, look, I was asked the question directly. Given everything that happened, I have a right to be honest.
Which is a fair point, really. It brings up that whole question of how much is too much to share when you've had such a public relationship and breakup.
Exactly. Like, where's the line? Especially when you're prompted on live TV.
It's tough. She felt justified, and you can see why from her perspective.
Right. Anyway, just a reminder for everyone, The Valley is on Tuesday nights.
Okay, next update we have about Sutton Stracke. She faced some less than kind comments online.
Ugh, yeah. She posted some nice photos from the Love Hotel premiere party, with Luann, Nick Gentile, others.
And there was one photo of her and Nick on the porch of her place, the Bel Air house.
The one Dorit Kemsles called out for being on a main road. That one.
That's the one. Anyway, someone commented on that photo, something about her legs.
Yeah, someone skipped leg day. Seriously, people are bold online.
Just unnecessary criticism. But Sutton's response, pretty classy.
What did she say?
She just replied, strong as steel, sir. Have a beautiful day. Handled it well. Didn't really engage with the negativity.
Good for her. But then someone else piled on, even after Sarah Fraser said she looked great.
Yeah, another user just wrote the legs. Like, really?
So Sutton just called it out directly?
Yep, replied. Way to body shame. Good on her for not letting it slide.
Absolutely. And it's not the first time, right? People have made comments before, even accused her of using Ozempic.
Exactly. She's denied all that, saying she eats, she's not on Ozempic. It's a tired narrative, and it's disappointing people focus on that.
It really is. It highlights that whole issue of body image and online commentary. Next update we have about, some potential merch drama. Kristen Doute and Jax Taylor.
Yeah, this one popped up on Instagram. Kristen basically accused Jax of ripping off her James May brand's Valley merchandise.
Wow. Did she show proof?
She posted a screenshot of a message she apparently sent him, telling him to take the stuff down immediately, and showed side-by-side pics.
Okay, so Kristen relaunched James May this year, right? With Valley-themed stuff, obviously tying into the show.
Exactly. And she pointed to things like, I think, a white t-shirt that look almost identical to hers. Meanwhile, Jax was promoting his own Valley merch, like a hoodie.
So it looks pretty similar.
From the pictures Kristen shared, yeah, it seemed like a pretty direct overlap. When these reality stars build brands, the merch is a big deal, so she clearly felt like he was stepping on her toes.
Makes sense. Did Jax respond? Or take the stuff down?
Well, checking his online store later, it looked like maybe some items were gone. The main Valley item seemed to be just a unisex t-shirt with the word Valley. He still had other stuff, like that I'm the talent merch.
So maybe he did react to her calling him out publicly.
It's possible. Things move fast online. An accusation like that can definitely make someone rethink their products, especially with the show airing.
Okay, next update we have about New Jersey. Some RHONJ tension.
Yes, this involves Margaret Josephs, Melissa Gorga, and Kathy Wakile. It sounds like a classic case of conflicting stories.
Okay, what's the gist?
So Kathy was on Page 6 radio and kind of implied Melissa wasn't sincere about wanting to reconcile, or maybe that they already had reconciled privately and Melissa wasn't acknowledging it. Margaret then came out to defend Melissa.
And Margaret knew about a secret lunch.
Apparently, yes. Margaret said both Melissa and Kathy told her about this lunch they had. Get this, they supposedly have the same hairdresser.
No way, only in Jersey. Okay, so what was Margaret's take?
Margaret said Melissa kept quiet about the lunch because Kathy asked her to respect family stuff. So Marge was disappointed. Kathy then brought it up publicly.
Okay, so Margaret is saying Melissa was respecting Kathy's wishes, and Kathy broke the silence.
That's Margaret's version. She said Melissa just wanted a private moment, wasn't looking for clout or anything, and apparently they'd run into each other at a charity event about a year before this lunch, too.
So there were attempts at connection happening behind the scenes.
Seems like it. Margaret even said Kathy specifically told her at the hairdresser's that she didn't want the lunch getting out, which makes Kathy talking about it later seem odd if Margaret's account is right.
And Margaret thinks Melissa hoped the lunch could help smooth things over between Kathy and Joe Gorga.
Yeah, that was Margaret's understanding. But Margaret also stressed she gets along great with Kathy, doesn't want beef. She's just close to Melissa and believes her side.
Sounds like she's trying to walk a fine line there. Defending her friend, but trying not to burn a bridge with Kathy.
Exactly. It's tricky territory in that group.
And speaking of the group, Margaret also talked a bit about RHONJ casting.
Yeah, she mentioned it's a tough crew to cast for, that producers struggle finding new people sometimes. Said they've apparently widened the search, like looking in South Jersey and other areas.
Interesting. Does that mean changes are coming?
Well, she said she's heard about tons of women being cast, but that nobody's reached out to her, and added she's actually fine not filming right now because she has plans to go to Italy.
Ah, okay. So maybe enjoying a break. Got it. Next update we have about Summer House, Ciara Miller and Jesse Solomon.
Ciara was on Watch What Happens Live and talked about Jesse, said they have a good time, love to party together, it's all pretty chill.
Did she mention Coachella? Weren't they spotted there?
Yep, she confirmed they went and had a good time. But she denied that rumor they skipped Lexi Wood's birthday party to hang out together.
Okay. And what about Jesse and Lexi's actual relationship? What was Ciara's take?
She basically said she never thought they were a good match. Called it a nay from the beginning and no now. Pretty blunt.
Oh. Did she think Jesse was genuine with Lexi at all?
She said she thought he was genuine initially about wanting exclusivity, but then he just got confused. She didn't think he was talking badly about Lexi later, more like venting or asking for advice.
Okay, so maybe just immature handling of the situation.
That seems to be her interpretation. Then the conversation shifted to Radke.
Oh, yeah. His crush on Ciara.
Right. Ciara said she thought it was so cute, and she welcomes it, appreciates his honesty and compliments.
Did she say if the feeling was mutual or ever was?
Interestingly, yes. She admitted she was attracted to Carl during her first summer on the show, said she likes that he's a gentleman, helps with bags, and then she mentioned his huge thighs.
Oh, okay, Ciara, putting it out there.
She really did, so, maybe there's potential there. It's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. Any update on Luke?
Just that she saw him briefly last week, like a quick hi and bye. Didn't know about his breakup with Tashia Adams, and no chance of them rekindling anything. That door's closed.
Got it.
Well, when asked who was most two-faced besides Jesse, she named West Wilson.
Ouch. Are they okay now?
She said their status is just status quo after the reunion, and they're not going to be best friends ever, so sounds like lingering tension.
Yeah, sounds like it. And what about that whole toe incident in Emerald's room?
Right. On the after show, Ciara said she thinks all that happened was he only got his toe sucked. Her reasoning was that Jesse can't hold water and would have bragged if more went down.
Okay, well, that's a theory. A very specific one.
Indeed. And remember, Summer House Season 9 airs Wednesdays.
Right. Okay, next update we have about Jesse Lally again, but this time it's financial stuff from the Valley.
Yeah, this sounds pretty intense. His estranged wife, Michelle Saniei, was on the Valley after show and claimed Jesse's in financial trouble. Said he spent millions.
Millions,
Yeah.
wow. Was it just her saying this?
Apparently not. Janet Caperna, Brittany Cartwright, and Lala Kent were also discussing his spending habits on the after show, so it's coming from multiple cast members.
Okay, what specifics did Michelle give?
She said the overspending started after their daughter Isabella was born and that Jesse stopped working then. The big example she gave was expensive wine, like bottles ranging from $50 up to $5,000.
$5,000 for wine. And she literally said the money was gone.
Yep. Her quote was reportedly, "We did have millions of dollars and that money was gone." That's a huge allegation to make publicly.
For sure. How did Jesse respond? He must have heard about this.
He did. He reportedly called it Michelle's narrative to make him look like the villain. Talking about their finances publicly was inappropriate and should be private.
Which is understandable. From his side, it's personal stuff.
Definitely. But he also pushed back on the substance of it.
So.
His take was basically, we lived a great life. They were 50-50 business partners, and Michelle had full access to all the accounts. So if there was overspending, she's just as responsible.
Okay. So he's not denying the spending, just who's at fault.
It seems that way. He's arguing she had the access and visibility, so she can't just blame him now.
What do the other castmates say? Janet and Lala?
Janet apparently said she finds Jesse spending beyond his means most unattractive. And Lala pointed out that he seems to be renting his place, which feels inconsistent with dropping thousands on wine.
Good point from Lala. Adds another question mark.
And Brittany reportedly weighed in too, siding with Michelle, accused Jesse of spending the bulk of the money, leaving Michelle with little, and even racking up debt he's trying to pin on her.
Wow. So this is getting really messy in public.
Extremely. Lots of accusations flying. And again, The Valley Season 2 is on Tuesdays, so we might see more of this play out.
Definitely sounds like it. Okay, final update we have about Whitney Rose and her beauty business.
Right. There was a report in the U.S. Sun claiming she'd shut down Wild Rose Beauty after losing a lot of money, like 6 figures, and that she'd rebranded it as something called Soul People.
Hasn't she talked about money troubles with the business before?
Yes, she has. She's been pretty open on RHOSLC about investing heavily, losing savings, and rebranding before. So this report kind of fits with that ongoing storyline.
What did the report say about the current status? Like the website?
It mentioned the Wild Rose Beauty site shows everything sold out. The Instagram is inactive. Facebook is deactivated. Pretty strong signs that, something changed. It claimed the rebrand was essentially shill people using old Wild Rose packaging.
Okay. So it looked like Wild Rose was maybe folded into this new thing.
That was the suggestion. The report also quoted an insider saying the rebrand to shill people wasn't doing well, facing slow sales. But then there was also conflicting info.
Like what?
Like a past press release where shill people announced Wild Rose Beauty would be sold exclusively through them. And Whitney herself had previously sounded excited about being a co-founder, co-CEO of shill people.
So was it a shutdown and struggling rebrand or a planned partnership? Kind of confusing.
Exactly. The signals were mixed. But then Whitney herself cleared things up.
Oh, what did she say?
She went on her Instagram stories and flat out denied the report, called it false information. Said Wild Rose Beauty is not done. The products will be available again soon. And crucially, she added, I am no longer a part of Soul People, for the record.
Oh, okay. So she's separated from Soul People now and plans to bring Wild Rose Beauty back independently.
That's what it sounds like. A pretty direct clarification. So the situation is definitely different from what that report claimed. Wild Rose isn't dead yet, it seems.
Interesting. Okay, so quite a bit happened this week then.
For sure.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for watching this video. See you tomorrow.